You know, this is a healing space, these walls. It saved a lot of people from a lot of things.
Tell the truth. Come on, man. Testify.
It saved me. Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Saved many people. Saved me. Saved me from myself. Saved me from being on the news at 11. And interrupting people's stories. If I wasn't a writer, I'd be something else. And so a lot of the things that I write, this is medicine, simply. I witnessed so much bloodshed by the time I was 5, screaming no longer relieved or expressed the trauma. Red colored my thoughts and dreams like black and white TV, no longer flatlined, now 4D. Twilight Zone, night gallery, usually at night. A series of themes, if you know what I mean, and a series of moans. I can still hear the tones, bottom of the belly of the beast ship. She didn't slip or fall. I saw it all when my sight was 20/20. At 5, used my eyes like Minolta, could go in and out of focus at will. Tired of seeing what I was believing, became farsighted for a while. Looked for my future every day of my life. Looked for my future every day of my life from the back of the class. Too short to be cited for the Pledge of Allegiance, so I learned to be seen standing for causes, cause somebody should stand for something, sometimes, somewhere. Became a secret society all by myself, and I remember gaining members was hard because it was too easy for them to forget, so I was the vessel now become vault, and it's no surprise they called me VV. At 14, developed astigmatism. Just couldn't focus at all. Then father Popeyed me Brutus style. Left eye wasn't singing then. It was my best eye. Now everything's a blur. Nearsighted was my opia, the only drug I dare take, and it was legal. Look closely and you'd see eyes pretty as you please, but couldn't see a damn thing. Had seen too much already, and now doctor says I'm manic. Public says creative, and I can't seem to tell the difference. Feels like I'm just a natural mystic blowing in the air. See, manic is the system I use to survive. All or nothing the vibe most of the time. Drop what you're doing, run for your life depends on it. Sleep in the day because at least it is light. That way you can stay up at night and watch for the boogeyman lives in the house with you, pays the bills, sleeps in the next room, shares your DNA, can read your mind. And how do you escape? The fire is hot and you're too young to smoke, so you live your life holding your breath and feeling secondhand smoke never kills, it just maims, and only you can prevent forest fires.
Oh, gee.
What I recognize about realities like that is that there are 4-year-olds committing suicide, 11-year-olds committing suicide, killing their parents, killing kittens, and other things. I've been a writer all my life. I don't kill spiders. I just put them outside. Although there have been some people I've had on a hit list for a number of years. But I'm going out of that too. The list will be retired soon. I have a guru in front of me and I know holy men and holy women are throwing holy water at me so that I can heal. Yes? There weren't enough towels. There weren't enough towels. I remember thinking there weren't enough towels. I'd used washcloths and dishcloths and dish towels by then. At 8 years old, put my asthma on hold to play Florence Nightingale again. Hammerhead shark, Florida predator, my father, with hammer in hand, headed toward my mother. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. That was my Cartoon Network, middle of the night, 1960. Woody Woodpecker became head of household with a hammer in his hand, headed straight for my mother, headed straight for her head like John Henry Steele driving. Man, are you crazy? Special effects on 99th Street. That house isn't there anymore. Don't know how long it's been gone, but I often wondered. The white man said we could buy it for rent and repairs. It had a real fireplace, a big backyard, and a copper-clad Revere ware on kitchen walls. We ate stacks of pancakes in the breakfast room, and that's where I threw up those Brussels sprouts on my plate Dad made me eat. At Easter, walked around to church with my 4-year-old cousin in white pleated skirts, black and white houndstooth jackets with white Easter bonnets and gloves. Oh yeah, black patent leather shoes. Sang Easter parade for the whole congregation. We knew all the words. Daddy was mad when we had to move. I heard the whole thing. I heard it all. After all the work I've done on this place, I'll take him to court. I'll take him to court. But he didn't get it in writing. A gentleman's agreement. Seems he weren't no gentleman. And maybe, just maybe, the white man on the corner, looks like I missed the page. Hold on. Things like this happen in the real world. And maybe, just maybe, the white man on the corner, the shopkeeper, the Jew who told me, Daddy's little girl, perhaps I should go to the other store where I've been going. Perhaps he told the landlord Daddy punched him in the face and went to jail after full court pressed of German and Yiddish to finish the task. Perhaps he was just too black and not enough sorry and too much rebellious 5 years before the rebellion and burn, baby, burn. Maybe that was enough, just enough to tip the iceberg slowly melting into the flood of tears he'd later cry, but not before he came up to my 4th grade class during heads down on desk rest period time with flight path our rooftop. You are flying too close to the building. You are flying too close to the building. Of course, teacher gave him access. How could she know he would whisper in my ear, "Where's the hammer? I know you know where the hammer is." Acting up to my potential toward the Hollywood Walk of Fame with that deer in the headlights look, I lied straight to his face. "No, Daddy, I don't. I didn't see where she put it. I don't know where it is." Voiceover. They hid the weapon and told me where they hid it. They hid the weapon and told me where they hid it. Did they know I'd be Jadi then? Storyteller, keeper of memory? Told me where it was. 364 West 65th Street, between Broadway and the freeway, cousin's house, top of the closet under the ... And here I don't recall where I put my Black Love anthology yesterday. But he believed me. I put my head back down. He left the classroom, lights off, not a peep in the room. Think that's when I started to fall asleep in class during rest period, with my forearm in my mouth, sucking to soothe my fears, often awoke with a black and blue arm. No thing. At least I knew where it came from. I could explain the bruise. unlike the backaches I would mysteriously have from being thrown upside the wall, literally sliding down like a cartoon character. But that was only once, my mother said. Got my rest at rest period so I could stay up the rest of the night so I wouldn't be jolted out of my sleep by things that went bump, like my mother being pushed down the stairs. Now I wonder if she started to dye her hair red to hide the blood, or later to blonde to lighten her roots. Perhaps dark roots needed to be lightened up. The load was too heavy. The load was too heavy for a drama queen who wanted to be a star. Always ready for her close-up. Child, I thought Tallulah had died and was born again in my mother. Between her and Lucy, and everybody loved Lucy, and I heard Desi kicked her around too. Anyway, all this blood work feels like I'm in the lab. Testing, 1, 2. Everybody's been telling me things all of my life, giving me things to hold, stories to be told, for now, for later. And all this time I'm wondering, what's this blood work all about? Blood memories. Blood relates to everything I've ever known. And now after 9 months of mini pausing at my house, I bleed. Early Friday morning, about 3 a.m. You've got to be kidding. And my memories told me it was coming. And doctors think you need a shrink. How about my cells are restructuring the memories for my memories, and this be my reconstruction period? The last egg on its last leg, come on down. The price is right, don't cost you nothing. Free at last, praise God Almighty. Not quite yet, I'm still here. If I could place time in a bottle, in record time, I'd record time. Seems that's just what I do. Do I do what I do? It's important to write. It's important to be heard. It's important to tell your stories. Everybody's got them. Everybody's got at least one. Yeah. Thank you, bless your heart. And so, better out than in? Always. Always. Tell somebody. If somebody don't believe you, tell somebody else. That's what I tell the children.